So you've lost 15 pounds in 1 week. I'd love to know how you've done that. Have you been living on salads for the week?
Definitely not. No. I've been eating a very, very wide kind of variation of food. Definitely not salads.
All right. Have you been cutting out carbs?
No, not at all. Try to eat carbs with pretty much every meal.
Good. Have you been doing any exercise?
Unfortunately not. No, my hip injury prevents that, so it's purely down to diet.
Okay. Can we just start again? Can we just keep the answers a bit shorter, if you don't mind?
Yeah, no problem.
Only because I'm gonna get this transcribed, so the subtitles go along the bottom.
Oh, got ya.
And it's just this. You don't have to be straight yes or no's, but just like really short and sharp if you can. It's just easier with the subtitles then to get them up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a lot of work.
No worries.
Cool. So you've lost 15 pounds in 1 week. I'd love to know how you've done that. Have you been living on salads the entire week?
Definitely not. No.
Cool. How about cutting out carbs? Have you had to do that?
No. Certainly been eating carbs as well.
And you've not been able to do any exercise at all in this week, have you?
No, I can't exercise at the moment.
So I'm guessing you've been hungry the entire week?
No, not at all. No, I've been very full.
Okay. Followed some crazy fad diet or taken supplements during the week?
No supplements, no crazy fad diet, no.
Okay. Lots of bland food, I'm guessing then?
No, not at all. Not at all.
And this hasn't been tough in any way?
No, easy as pie.
Okay, so I'd love to know how you've done this then. Come on, shed some light on it.
Well.
Perfect. That'll do. Awesome. Right. So then we can just go to a much more relaxed way of doing it now, which is better. Right. So let's put the camera central. I'll move a bit. I had to have like a script there, so I had to move the camera a little bit.
No worries.
See if we can take that back a bit. Get that there. I'm on a wonky table as well, that's not helping. So just before we start then, today going all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Yeah, not bad. I was up a little bit later this morning. I had to take Alex to work, so breakfast was a bit later than I planned. So lunch will be a little bit later than normal, and But I've been trying not to kind of eat after sort of 8 o'clock at the latest. So yeah, it's been all right.
That's good. So let's start then with the backstory. So we know you've lost 15 pounds in the first week, but why has that been so important? What's been going on with your hip?
Well, basically, I've got to have a hip replacement, but because I am so overweight, the doctor won't put me on the waiting list until I've lost 5 stone. So he's effectively rebooked an appointment for 6 months' time. I've got to go back in 6 months, having lost 5 stone, and at that point, he will then put me on the waiting list for the hip replacement.
Okay. So for people who don't know you, we worked together before a couple of years ago, didn't we?
We did indeed, yeah.
So we've got to lose 5 stone now with no exercise because you can't move your hip, and we've got to do that in 6 months. Can you remember what we lost before and how we done it?
Yeah, I mean, with a lot of exercise over the period of probably 12 to 18 months, I lost just shy of 4.5 stone.
Okay. And that, like I said, that was with what, 2 or 3 sessions of exercise a week as well?
Yeah, sometimes more, yeah.
and not very easy exercise either, was it?
No, your Tabata sessions were at some points quite challenging.
Good. So when we spoke again last week, or just about 10 days ago, you just had your chat with your GP. He just told you that you had to lose this 5 stone within 6 months.
Yeah.
You sounded pretty low. You sounded like at rock bottom at that point.
Pretty much, yes. That's a fair assessment.
Because I know it's going to be tough. Like you said, you had in your mind how much you lost before with the exercise, and now you're having to do that with no exercise whatsoever. It's a big ask.
It did at the back of my mind seem a bit of an impossible task. Yeah, I've got to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it did. So we set our targets. And what was your thoughts at this stage? Having spoken to me, I put a plan in place for you. Did you believe it? What was you thinking?
Well, I kind of looked at the plan, and the thing that sort of jumped out at me straight away was dairy free for 28 days. You know, I'm a great milk drinker. I love butter on my bread. And I thought, oh my gosh, you know, how the heck am I going to do that for 28 days? You know, 8 days in, it's not bothered me a little bit, not bothered me a bit.
Good.
You know, the meditation aspect of it, the kind of the brain training aspect of it. I've got to be honest, again, at the beginning, I kind of looked at it and thought, you know, we'll see. But, you know, I've stuck to it. I've done what you said. And, you know, all I can say is certainly in the first week, the results are there.
Yeah, it is only the first week. It's still a long way to go, but it's a good promising start, definitely.
Absolutely.
So you've just alluded to some of the other aspects there, the meditation, the mind, like the mental aspects, what we've been trying to get you to do, the brain training side of stuff. But what have we done with the food? Apart from the no dairy, have we done a lot of big changes?
No, not really. I mean, obviously sticking to an element of carb, protein, and healthy fat in every meal. You know, that's kind of what I've tried to do. It's not always possible. I mean, trying to get some healthy fat into your breakfast is not always easy. You know, there has been the odd times where I've kind of looked at the meal and it has been a little bit fat free. But in the main, you know, that's kind of what I've stuck to and you know, tried to get a healthy portion of all of the kind of the macronutrients into each meal. So yeah, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult.
No, it's not. But two things. Have you been hungry this week?
No, not at all.
So you've eaten a good portion of food?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And has the food been nice? Has it been bland and boring food, or has it been good, healthy, tasty food?
Definitely not. I mean, you know, when you're cooking, you can make bland food if you want, but if you're prepared to add a little bit of spice, use a bit of chili, use a bit of ginger, things like that, and actually cook a meal rather than just, you know, throw a few bland ingredients together, the food can be as interesting as you want to make it.
Yeah, of course it can. Yeah, and you've benefited as well from working with me before. So the food side of things, we kind of knew you had down anyway. Just had to focus a little bit for the 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what about the meditation, the brain training, and the positive videos we've had you watching in the morning? How has that made a difference, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the positive videos certainly do help. You know, you get up in the morning and it's kind of difficult sometimes to kind of focus on the day. But, you know, watching the videos, I mean, the Les Brown chap that you mentioned, you know, what an inspiring guy. He's absolutely fantastic. And, you know, whether you're looking at kind of getting into some kind of healthy regime or not, I'd advise anybody to have a look at this guy because he's superb. But yeah, I mean, the meditation at night, you know, again, normally I would sort of just go to bed, watch the telly for an hour, try and drift off to sleep. And I found that quite difficult. Just taking sort of 10, 15 minutes before I go to bed to relax, to unwind and to meditate. Always sounds a bit silly when I say that because I've never been a kind of a meditate guy, but it has made a difference. My quality of sleep has certainly improved. And I wake up in the morning feeling better, feeling like I've had a better night's sleep and feeling more refreshed. So yeah, great steps. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that was the aim of that, and the positive videos and the brain training. Obviously, I've followed you on social media for a few years now since we've become friends. But last 6 months has been the posts have been very miserable. They've been very downbeat because of everything that's going on. So
absolutely,
to change that straight away, get you into a more positive mindset, and it's week one. It's clearly
absolutely, and as you said, and it does happen. You know, if you're going to post a negative post on social media, you get lots of negative sort of sympathetic posts back, and that doesn't really do anything to kind of boost your morale. But you know, you post something upbeat and something, you know, morally uplifting, you tend to get it back in spadefuls, and that's been quite good here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you'll get with the negative posts, you get 1 or 2 comments, maybe you'll push to 10, but then you put a post up yesterday with your week 1 results.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I made the mistake of commenting on that quite early. My Facebook just pinged all day from that point on, comment after encouraging comments and something like 150 likes at the last count. So
absolutely,
it just goes to show the positivity and support you get for doing that is much greater.
Absolutely, and it's all about accountability as well. You know, for me, getting people to kind of know what I'm doing holds me accountable. And I kind of need that. I've got to be honest. You know, if it was left down to myself, you know, I probably would find it much easier to spiral into that sort of black hole of kind of self-pity and that. But when everybody knows what your challenge is, and, you know, thankfully I have got a lot of supportive friends, you know, they're there for you, and it just encourages you to, you know, to take that step forward when perhaps, you know, everything in your head is telling you to take a step backwards. So, yeah, I've found that really, really useful. That's
brilliant. Well, there you go. Week 1 is done and dusted. We're into week 2 now. We're not expecting a £15 loss in week 2, but
I'd be very surprised.
I would, but you know, you were so worried before about having 5 stone to lose in 6 months, and straight away we're down to 3 stone, £13. You know, within a week.
Sounds a heck of a lot more achievable.
Yeah. Imagine you go back to the doctors now in 6 months' time and go, do you know what? Shove your 5 stone. I've lost 6 or 7.
That'd be lovely.
It would, wouldn't it? Eh?
Yeah.
So brilliant stuff. Thanks for sharing that with us.
No problem at all, Mark.
On to week 2. Carry on with week 2, eh?
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, mate.
Can't wait till next Monday.
Brilliant. You'll see it. Don't you worry.
That's great stuff. Right. Thanks, buddy.